Hey, what's up everyone? John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be directly comparing Rocket Languages and Duolingo. I've personally used both of these programs, and now it's time to reveal which one I think is more effective for learning a new language. So if you're ready, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back. Let's jump right in. I should mention up front here that since I'll just be focusing on the major highlights and lowlights in this video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written comparison on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, Rocket Languages versus Duolingo. Alright, so out of the gate here, let's compare pricing, starting with Rocket. Their courses range from $150 up to $450, depending on how many levels you want to purchase. To be fair though, that $150 to $450 range is a little deceiving. And that's because Rocket Languages is almost always running some sort of deal or special promotion. In most cases, you can expect to receive at least $50 off, if not more. So be sure to check out the description below for coupon codes. I'll drop any current discounts that I can find down there for you. Duolingo, on the other hand, takes a slightly different approach in that they actually offer a free plan. Yes, that's right, totally free. You just need to sign up and you'll have access to their around 20 or so languages. But before you get too fired up, as you might expect with anything that's free, there is a catch. The free plan comes with some serious drawbacks that I will address later in this comparison, and for folks who don't want to deal with the flaws of the free plan, Duolingo also offers a Plus plan, which is a paid subscription. It costs around $84 per year or $7 per month. So from an overall cost perspective, Duolingo is obviously the more affordable option. But really, it's hard to compare the two. It's sort of an apples to oranges comparison. On the one hand, you have Duolingo that offers free courses that are a little bare bones, whereas Rocket offers more premium language courses. I should also mention though that Rocket does offer a free trial as well as a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can always test the waters before fully committing. And by the way, we work really hard to produce honest and helpful content, all totally free, so if Rocket Languages or Duolingo end up being the right choice for you, we'd really appreciate it if you would use those links listed down below in the description. That's how you can support our channel and allow us to keep creating these types of videos. And if you find that neither Rocket or Duolingo is a great fit, it's not a problem at all. It doesn't matter to me which language learning program you go with. We have a ton of other helpful reviews and comparisons that you might want to check out. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the structure and format of each company's lessons. That way you can start to get an idea of how these two companies really differ. And let's start with Rocket. Their language programs are essentially comprised of two different types of lessons, each of which take around an hour or so to complete from start to finish. There's interactive audio lessons and language and culture lessons. With the interactive audio lessons, a moderator speaking in English walks you through a native conversation in your target language step by step. The moderator will start by explaining what the goal of the lesson is, cover why you're learning it, and then set the stage for the upcoming situation and conversation. Then you'll dive into the actual conversation where you listen to native speakers converse. In every few sentences, the moderator will stop to explain what you just heard, provide pronunciation tips, grammar explanations, and maybe most importantly, ask you questions to have you engage and participate in the conversation. So essentially, think of these interactive audio lessons as guided native conversations. And then the language and culture lessons are sort of like interactive textbooks. You'll read a paragraph explanation containing grammar rules and cultural insights, engage with a few examples to ensure you understand, and then rinse and repeat. And then to finish out each lesson, you'll review what you just learned in the audio and language lessons through several short reinforcement exercises. This includes variation of flashcards, speaking drills, writing drills, and quizzes. With Duolingo, their lessons are a little shorter. Each one is only about 5 to 10 minutes long and they go by super fast. And that's because each lesson is made up of several quick-hit interactive exercises that include listening drills, fill in the blanks, matching pairs, verbal practice, and writing full sentences. Essentially, think of Duolingo's lessons as similar to the reinforcement drills of Rocket's lessons. So, from a high level, that's how the two companies' lessons compare. The key takeaway here is that the Rocket language lessons take around an hour or so to complete from start to finish, include more detailed grammar instruction, and place a stronger emphasis on listening and speaking in the context of simulated native conversations. Whereas the Duolingo lessons are much shorter and include more variety in terms of drills and exercises. And by the way, if you want to see examples of the lessons or drills from either company, be sure to check out our full written comparison. I'll have it linked down below in the description for you. I'll have a bunch of screenshots and examples over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Okay, so now that you have an idea of how the companies compare in terms of pricing and lesson format, let's get into the major pros and cons that I took away after testing each program. But before I get into that, I should also mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone is eligible. I'll have all the details down below in the description. It takes you like 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know. You could win a free subscription to Rocket or Duolingo Plus. Alright, so let's start with Rocket. Pro number 1 is that Rocket is much better than Duolingo at developing your conversation skills. Instead of just listening or reading to an individual word or phrase and then repeating it in order to remember it or learn it like you do with Duolingo most of the time, the Rocket language audio lessons are much more powerful and effective. The lessons prompt you to use vocabulary and respond to a native speaker in the context of an actual simulated conversation. This helps keep you from becoming a passive listener. You're actively engaged in tracking the conversation, and the moderator of the audio lessons keeps you on your toes since you need to understand what's going on and respond at the proper times. In my opinion, this active participation is powerful at getting you to recall and use the language under pressure, just like you would in real-life situations. That's the key point here. You're getting simulated real-world experience, which really, at the end of the day, is about the best environment for truly learning a new language. This is opposed to just listening and repeating words in a vacuum like you do with Duolingo. So huge advantage for Rocket in that regard. Okay, pro number 2. Because roughly half the Rocket lessons are audio-based, I like that you can complete these lessons while you're exercising, washing dishes, gardening, or whatever. It's just nice, you don't have to be buried in your phone or computer at all times like you do with Duolingo. I think most people out there would probably agree with me that sometimes you just need a break or a change of scenery when you're studying or learning a new language. So overall, I have to give credit for Rocket for how flexible their lessons are compared to Duolingo. Okay, pro number 3. The Rocket language courses really emphasize cultural insights and grammar instruction more than the Duolingo courses do. And the nice thing here is that Rocket accomplishes this in many ways. First, as you complete the interactive audio lessons, the moderator regularly stops to discuss different grammar principles and verbally explain the reasoning behind them. And then of course, the majority of the grammar instruction is delivered through the company's language and culture lessons, which sort of take the form of a digital textbook. But to be clear here, I'm not talking about some long, dense textbook like you used in your high school history class. Rocket does a great job of breaking these lessons down into short, digestible chunks. Each section within the lesson is only about 3 to 6 sentences long on average, and within the lesson there are dozens of breakpoints where you interact with examples and pictures to keep you engaged. So really, it's more like a mix between a scaled-down digital textbook and an interactive activity. Overall, I was just really impressed with the level of grammar and cultural insights that the Rocket courses provide, as well as how the company integrates this material into their lessons. Alright, pro number 4. I found that Rocket is better with using natural sentences and phrases, whereas with Duolingo, this seems to be a recurring issue among consumers. I also saw a lot of complaints online regarding incorrect translations with Duolingo as well. Now, to be fair, it does seem like Duolingo has made strides to improve in this area as of late, but you still occasionally come across an awkward sentence or translation that sort of stops you in your tracks, whether from a grammatical perspective or a "wait, what was that?" type of confusion. A couple examples of unnatural sentences or incorrect translations that I saw within the forums were, "it called my fat," or "the bed is food." It's not a huge deal per se, it doesn't happen all the time, but it can disrupt and distract your learning process from time to time. So overall, key takeaway here is that Rocket seems to be more consistent and accurate when it comes to using natural sentences and correct translations within the lessons. Okay, so last up here, number 5. Rocket just offers more flexibility than Duolingo. With Rocket, you can jump around from level to level or lesson to lesson. You're not forced to follow a rigid progression. Whereas with Duolingo, they dictate the order in which you complete modules. New modules only become active once you've completed the previous one, or you're able to test out of it early. Maybe it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's just another advantage for Rocket. Okay, so let's flip the tables now and cover the major pros in favor of Duolingo. Number 1 is the fact that they offer a free version. I love this and think it's very admirable. I love that their language programs are accessible to everyone. But again, not to be the bad guy here, the free version definitely has its drawbacks. First, Duolingo's free version is ad-supported, which can become really annoying and distracting. Second, the free plan comes with a limited amount of what Duolingo calls hearts, which are essentially just incorrect answers. You start with 5 per day, and if you answer a question incorrectly during a lesson, you lose a heart. And when your 5 hearts are up, you either need to stop for the day or go back to old lessons in order to earn some hearts back. which can just make for a discouraging experience. And lastly, free users have a limited amount of test outs. Essentially, within the Duolingo program, if there's a skill or topic that you already know really well and you want to skip ahead to keep learning some new material, you can take a short quiz to test out of that particular topic and move on to the next lesson. But the issue here is that free users only have a limited amount of test outs that they can use. So again, it's just another annoying aspect of the free account. Alright, pro number 2 for Duolingo is that their lessons are shorter. They go by super quick, which is great for working professionals, students, and busy parents. I realize not everyone out there has a spare hour every day to complete lessons. Sometimes 20 or 30 minutes is all you have, so it's nice that you can knock out 3 or 4 lessons with Duolingo in a short time frame and still feel like you're being productive and making progress. Okay, last up here for Duolingo, pro number 3 is all about the extra resources they provide, which includes short stories to sharpen your reading and listening skills, forums so you can connect with other learners to discuss tips, their language learning experiences, and get answers to any questions that you may have. The forums are really wide open and they're great. Other resources include access to their podcast as well as a translation dictionary, but perhaps my favorite resource of all is the online events, where you can directly interact with other learners face-to-face via Zoom to practice speaking or just discuss whatever's on your mind. These are all great free resources that learners can take advantage of with Duolingo. And that about does it for the detail in this comparison, so let's get to the final verdict. Should you choose Rocket Languages or Duolingo? Well, after thoroughly testing each program, I don't think it's even close. Rocket is clearly the winner. They just offer the more complete courses from top to bottom. Duolingo just can't compete with Rocket's interactive audio lessons or level of grammar instruction that they provide. So I guess the decision here really boils down to what you're looking for. If you're just looking for a free course to brush up on a new language before you head off on vacation to a different country, then I think Duolingo is a great option. But if you're really serious about learning a second or third language and you don't mind paying to do so, then Rocket is the way to go. And that's all I have for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That'd really be appreciated. And if you want to learn more about Rocket Languages or Duolingo, or again, see that full detailed written comparison that I talked about earlier in this video, make sure to jump on over our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the other videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content out there. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and we'll see you in the next one.